Welcome back to another story of healing, truth, and redemption. Today's journey is not about perfection. It's about being human. It's about falling, hurting, hiding, and still being loved by God. If you've ever felt ashamed of your secret struggles, especially when everyone thinks you're strong, this story is for you. Let me take you to a place of darkness where light still found a way in. Let's begin. My name is Elias Nguyen, 34, living in a big city and working as a youth pastor at a well-known church. In the eyes of many, I was a man chosen by God. My mission clear, my voice warm, my eyes full of empathy. My social feed showed me sharing messages with young people, helping the poor, leading workshops. I appeared strong and on fire for faith. But underneath it all, I was human, wounded, lonely, walking through days where joy fell hollow. I carried the scars of a broken family, the heartbreak of love betrayed, the sense of being abandoned. I wore a spiritual mask. During our annual St. Luke fundraiser, I stood before hundreds of young faces and spoke passionately about faith and purpose. Yet deep inside, my mind a whisper echoed. I'm so afraid I'm not enough, not loved, not truly chosen. When the lights dimmed and I left the stage, I teared up alone in my hotel room. I was the one everyone praised, but I had lost myself. One evening, a bright young woman in our congregation, Lon, captivated everyone, including me. Something stirred deep in me, a longing I thought I'd outgrown but now screamed to be known. At a small group meeting, I saw her smiling at me across the circle. I felt my heart flip, not pastor-like, not honorable, but undeniably real. My mind raced. I confided in a close brother in faith. I feel distant. I feel empty inside. Are you struggling with impure thoughts? He asked gently. I nodded. Elias, David, and Samson fell too. You're not alone in this battle. I clenched my fists. Why was I someone entrusted with spiritual teaching, wrestling with lust? I bargained with God every night. God, if I'm faltering despite knowing you, if I'm truly chosen, save me from this shadow. But temptation struck again. Even a friendly touch from Lon, on her turn, brought a spark. I fought inwardly as laughter and applause cheered me on stage, while a voice snarled in my heart. They don't know the darkness you hide. I had pushed myself beyond breaking, leading, ministering, caring for others, yet avoiding my own brokenness. I couldn't bring this struggle into the spotlight. No one would understand. I was losing ground fast. One afternoon, I tried calling my father, who had left our family when I was 10, just hoping for connection. I explained my shame, my secret struggle, my fear. He hung up without a word. I ended up in the church lobby, bursting into tears. I don't even know who I am anymore. I told God, body shaking, feeling broken beyond repair. I walked into the restroom and screamed into my reflection. If I'm truly chosen, rescue me. Don't let me end up hollow and lost. I reached the lowest point, a public figure drowning in private shame, wondering if my calling was all a lie. Lust had crept into the holy spotlight, poisoning my purpose. That night, at my breaking point, a verse from my childhood came flooding back. Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Romans 12, verse 9. I realized I was hiding in pretense, not loving in truth. I walked into the empty hallway of our church and began to cry out. Shame, struggle, emptiness poured out. I didn't ask for strength. I asked to be real. Father Benedict, our senior pastor, quietly appeared and placed his hand on my shoulder. No words, just presence. I whispered, Father, I think I've lost my soul. Without judgment, Father opened a Bible and read. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire brings forth sin, and sin, when it's full grown, brings forth death. James 1, verse 15. The words landed like a healing balm. He said, don't fear temptation. Christ has called you to overcome it. From that night on, I prayed without shame. I avoided any seclusion with Lon. I asked the church to start a healing group for those struggling with sexual temptation and joined it myself, both as a participant and a helper. Slowly, the darkness lost its power. A few weeks later, I pulled Lon aside and confessed honestly. My heart has been in turmoil. I'm seeking healing, but I don't want you to get hurt. She held me, tears in her eyes. Thank you for being honest. She stepped back, and I felt peace where once was unending longing. Life continued more intentionally. I attended worship with renewed passion, still fighting temptation, but no longer letting it define me. I began leading a small discipleship group focused on purity and emotional health, and helped others find courage to speak. Soon afterward, my father fell seriously ill. I rushed his side, full of raw faith and unresolved emotions. I prayed with tears beside his hospital bed. Please help me love him like you do. My dying father opened his eyes and quietly asked, "You're living, aren't you?" Yes, I replied, tears streaming. I found life in him again. My journey is proof that being chosen doesn't make you immune to darkness. The higher the calling, the fiercer the attack. But healing and resurrection are real, even for those who fall hardest. From the Bible and my own path, I learned spiritual sensitivity brings intense spiritual warfare. Isolation intensifies hidden battles. High calling draws stronger temptation. Emotional wounds open doors to sin. Spiritual gifting doesn't cancel human weakness. It demands spiritual discipline. Through prayer, accountability, scripture, and community, even the darkest temptations lose their power. Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life." John 11, verse 25. That resurrection promise is not just a grave. It's for broken souls too. Closing. If you're hiding a secret battle, sexual, emotional, spiritual, know this. You're not alone. There is freedom waiting in vulnerability and truth. It often starts in the most broken, most private places. Reach out. Share your struggle with someone you trust. Let your darkness be met by light. Allow Christ to resurrect your hope. And remember, glory often rises from the ashes of brokenness. If this story touched you, share it. Speak a verse of healing. Or leave a word of truth in the comments. You may be the light someone needs tonight.